I'm a sucker when it comes to 3D platformers. Why? I have no clue. They're just fun. Especially with ADHD and the worlds being pretty fun to explore, there's so much I can do all at once. And with the resurgence of 3D platformers recently with Mario, Crash, and Spyro reigniting the flame, I've never been more into finding a good platformer to play.
Welcome, Web of Wires. I grew up with Battle for Bikini Bottom with a black and white CRT in my room. It was fun for the most part, and it helped me develop a love for the 3D platforming genre. In this video, I want to go over the history of the genre, how it evolved over time, and how the 9th generation of consoles could be a brand new generation of the 3D platformer. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and go all the way back to the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation back in 1996.
PlayStation technically had a 2-year start, but they're also sorta dumb, so Nintendo released the first good 3D platformer, Mario 64. I only recently played the game, and I can say, it's pretty good. The controls were revolutionary at the time. It felt good to play in this big open 3D space. Crash Bandicoot followed shortly after the PlayStation. I never played this game, but it always looked fun. Bubsy 3D followed next and proved that you need to be a good developer to make a good 3D game. Spyro, Banjo, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, it seems like every single game got a 3D platformer. Even an obscure game called Gex got a game, and it's relatively popular nowadays. Every developer wanted a spin at turning beloved franchises into 3D games. According to Google, the PlayStation had Sonic Generations as well, which I don't think is accurate. Everybody who owned a game console at least owned one 3D platformer at the time. But wait, Frogger still needs a 3D platformer. Okay, that was a horrible decision. Finding Nemo, would that work? Wait, that's not a platformer. SpongeBob. Yes, SpongeBob! Introducing the licensed game era, filled with genuinely good games with new characters and Monsters Inc. There's a whole ton of bad platformers in this era. Does that mean there aren't any good ones? Of course not. Psychonauts and Sonic Adventure came out this generation. And I guess you could count Jet Set Radio. I've been playing that a lot on PC recently. But there were so many bad, uninspired, licensed platformers that just didn't work in the slightest. Which is why, around this next era, all we got was Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I mean, Sonic Generations was re-released on PS3 and Xbox 360, but that was it. A bit of Ratchet and Clank, Day Blob somewhere, and Sonic 06, but let's not bring that up. There were platformy games, I guess Assassin's Creed could be counted as one, but no full-on 3D platformers after that happened. We started seeing a decline in the genre. Nobody except Nintendo fans showed interest because, hey, these consoles could play online shooters. There's just not much to say about this generation, aside from the fact that the platformer was gone. For good. The 8th generation. It started off the same. We had nothing. I mean, 3D World came out, but only 2 people had a Wii U. Scott and that one rich kid who lives across the street from me. We had Knack, I think. That didn't go too well. Licensed games were almost entirely gone. Assassin's Creed? Doom? I don't think there were any. Then, all of a sudden, a light appeared. Mario Odyssey released. Crash, Spyro, Battle for Bikini Bottom, they all got remasters. PlayStation had a 3D platformer to show off the power of VR. Little Big Planet back in action as a 3D platformer and is called Sackboy now. Mario 3D All-Stars came out, confirming that 3D games still have a market. Sonic Forces. There were tons of big AAA 3D platformers at the end of the 8th generation. Although I haven't played the game, I own it, don't worry, a Hat in Time proved indie games could be in 3D as well. Snake Pass, Moss, Rhyme, Yooka-Laylee, Concrete Genie, so many great, unique, and inspired 3D platformers. Seriously, who would have thought an indie developer behind the game of Banjo-Kazooie would attempt to make a new Banjo under a new name? Everything has to be a 3D platformer now. Doom Eternal, Knack 2, Paw Patrol, all the great games needed reboots with some sort of platforming in them. Speaking of Knack 2, can we all thank it for rebooting 3D platformers? Technically, it did release a month prior to Odyssey. And now I'm happy. PlayStation 5 comes with a 3D platformer, Ratchet and Clank is getting a sequel, Psychonauts is getting a second game, LEGO Star Wars is getting an end, finally, Balan Wonderworld will most likely be horrible like the demo, and It Takes Two ended up being really good. I'm really hoping for this 3D platforming trend to continue throughout 2021, because it honestly is my favorite genre. That, 2D platformers and shooters. I'm a very basic man. Even if nothing big happens, my dream of playing Battle for Bikini Bottom in HD came true. It's dumb, but that was my first game I remembered fondly. That and... Actually, Mom, could you cover your ears for like 5 seconds? I know you're watching. Are we good? That and Mortal Kombat for PS2, but we don't need to go down that direction.
I don't know what to say other than I love the genre. I grew up with it, and it's something I'll most likely enjoy if the controls are half decent. But yes, 3D platformers. Whether you like them or not, whether you have nostalgia over them or not, whether you even played one or not, they're back, and I'm loving every second of it.